going live. It looks like I got a shadow going on here. Go outside light. Hey, we're live. Hey, Bubbles. This is Bubbles. Hi, Bubbles. And this is the 5am Mester Scrum Show. Looks like I got shadows coming in from the light outside. We'll try to stay away from them. Good morning. It's 5am Mester Scrum Show. It is 8:30 a.m. on a Monday. And this is our 56th show. Wow. 10 more to go. I can hear the kids running around out there. Again, it's normal. It's better to be up earlier than it is later. I don't know. It's a long weekend, lots of stuff, trying to finish up doing my taxes because I owe money, so I'm not going to pay them until the last minute. What do we do here? I'm Greg Mester. We talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way. So you can bring value to your customer, get home to your family and friends, and have a little fun, right? Simple stuff. Two items I want to talk about today. One, definition of done. Is it a one-way path on definition of done? And I would argue it's a two-way street with definition of done. I'm going to give you an example. And then the other one, an answer. Do we have to give out answers right away? Some people think that's their job, is to give you an answer now. You need an answer, I'm going to give you an answer now. But is that the right way? Okay. So, okay. Definition done. Let's take definition done. Let's look at code reviews, right? So maybe your team agrees that definition done for what we work on is that whatever story we were working on had a code review. All right. So you have a story you're working on. You write some code. Whose job is it to do the code review? Is it yours? Yes. However, here's the kicker, because I've seen some teams, they're always having troubles getting people to do code reviews for them or to do it on. Well, it's a two-way street. This is where the two-way street comes. The team agreed that code review is a key part of doing the activity. And in order to do that, you need another person to review the code. So in essence, the team also agrees to participate in the code reviews. Without that team agreement and the team two-way street, hey, we've all said we agree to do a code review. You also, in turn, have agreed to give some of your time up to do the actual code review, right? So that's important there. Yes, Eddie. It's just being goofy. Don't be too goofy. Do not take up the camera. I love it. This is why I want to do it at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I really shouldn't do this at 8:30 in the morning. Thanks, Ed. Okay. So that's what we talk about definition done. So the idea is that the team also agreed to participate in the definition of done in the code review, so thereby obligating themselves to help out. So if anybody gives you flack about doing code reviews, or I don't have time, they said, wait a minute. We all agreed that we would do code reviews. That means I need someone else on the team to review my code, right? So that's part of the two-way street with the definition done. So it's always a two-way street. Okay. So now I want to talk about always giving an answer. The other day I went to church and they're setting up for COVID and do some things and they're downstairs. I personally would do it in the old part of the church because it's got plenty of room. It's got plenty of social distancing in the old church, and it would be fine if they want to do it downstairs air conditioning because all they need air conditioning. I said, I'd rather be in the big church and sweat for an hour. But, whatever. I'm not making a call on it. But one of the things I did ask to be considered is that because in some churches, the priest would offer to stand instead of kneel. And we kneel, we stand, we kneel, we stand. And a lot of churches that don't have, when I was growing up, they didn't have kneelers. So what you did was you basically stood during the discussion or the prayer service and everything like that. You didn't sit. So all I did was suggest as an option, maybe the priest could offer for people who don't want to kneel on the surface or whatever, that they can stand during the kneeling sessions of the Mass. Right away, the person I know, and this is a nice person, just comes up and says, well, we already have that figured out. We got the today's they could go in the seats ahead of them. I'm like, so now you want me to lean on the chair. But I wasn't really looking for an answer. And I wasn't looking for justification. I wasn't looking for that right away from everybody. That wasn't the point. My point was I just wanted to have it considered and have a discussion. So that's what I was doing. I just wanted to be discussed. I wasn't looking for an answer. I wasn't looking for justification. I really want to speak a topic. Okay, hold on. Krishna. Hi, Greg. I'll get back to that real sec, but I want to finish this because it's going to be a short episode. So, Krishna, I'll get back to yours in a second. So I just want to get on this consider. So how many times do people want to do something? I brought something up the other day about I was noticing a trend and where things were into some points, and the person just felt like they had to justify the results. Really wasn't looking for you to justify the result. I just wanted you to acknowledge them and keep an eye out for such activities in the future. Not looking for justification whatsoever. Not looking for an answer. I just want people to be aware of what's going on so that they are aware when it comes up, they can react to it. So sometimes I don't want an answer. I don't want to, people come to me all the time looking for an answer for something. My first answer, is it going to be right? Probably 80% of the time. However, if you give us a couple seconds and let me look at the situation, what's really going on around that question, why that question was asked, I could probably give you a better answer, right? And a lot of times if you have a question with the team, having one person answer it may not be the right answer. Maybe having a team discussion, talking about a couple variables in the situation will give you that 99% better answer. So don't always think that as a Scrum Master or leader and Agile coach, your job is to give an answer to someone right away. Go ahead and tell them, hey, let me think about it. I'll get back to you in about a half hour, an hour, depending on what your schedule is like today, because I want to make sure I give you a good answer. If it's a simple task, like how do you hit the delete button? Well, you hit the button on the keyboard, boom. That's about it. So those are two items I have today. Now, I got Krishna A. Krishna was one of the people we had interviewed before. Ooh. One of our first interviews. Hi, Greg. I want to speak on a topic, Scrum Master empowerment. Normally, management blames Scrum Masters all the time in case there is a predictability dip and asks the DM for solutions. So why not blame the Scrum Master for a predictability dip? Say, why not? So what is predictability? Now here's the question. What's predictability? Predictability, we talked about the other day, is the team predicted this is how much work they can get done, and this is what they did. Sometimes they predict it's a lot lower because people are out. Not a delivery manager typo error. Okay. Right. So here's go live. Here, I'm violating my thing. I just said you don't need to answer right away all the time. And what am I about to do? I'm gonna give an answer, maybe. All right, I'm gonna use my hand. All right. Depends what your predictability is. What are you measuring? Are you talking about throughput or predictability? Because people go on vacation, people take time off, there's things that come up. A team predicts they're going to get this much, and then they do this much. That is your predictability margin. Maybe the next time they predict they're going to do this much, and then they predict that much. That's the predictability margin. Does that make sense, Krishna? This gap is the predictability. That is the whether or not the one sprint they're higher or lower or whatever, that is not predictability. Okay? This is based on how much work they have to do. So how well they can say, if we're going to do 30 points in a sprint, we say we're going to do 30 points, and maybe we do 35, or maybe we do 25 points. The margin here is your predictability margin, right? That's how accurate your predictions are, because you kind of know the work and you know what's going on and how good you are. So, but they're still bad, right? So this is the 5 out of 30, and this is also a 5 out of 30. You may think, hey, I did 35 points the last sprint. We predicted 30 is really good. It's just as bad as doing 25 points when you predicted you were going to do 30. It's the same predictability error. Okay. So depending on what would that be? I'll do that on my phone real quick here. I'll do my math. Oh God, software updates. Yeah, it's always in the worst time, right? Calculator. 5 divided by 30 equals 16%. So that's a 16%. I always like my teams to be under 10%. Most of my teams, we strive for under 10. If they're over 10, I mark them yellow. Okay. Now that's not getting better. My question, if your teams aren't getting better, are you doing retros? Are you doing process improvement? Are you working to get better, or are we just doing the same old thing every time? Does that help? I don't know, Krishna. Let me know. But that's predictability. So if even though you did more and you did 35%, but you did more than you predicted, you're still 16% at error, and I would mark the team as yellow. So, yeah, but you know what? You as a Scrum Master, it's team accountability, yes. You as a Scrum Master have to remind the team that they're way above or way below what is possible, right? I had a team the other day. I would blame the Scrum Master completely, totally for this one, by the way. I let it happen once, and after that, I'd be like, well, see, you guys fucked up. Okay? Literally, I do. Sometimes I do. Oh my God. Sometimes I have to do that. Like, Greg never curses. And I go, boom. So, I have a couple velocity graphs I draw for my groups. You know, there's times. There's up here. Hopefully, they're going up here, right? Hopefully, they're getting slowly but surely getting better on the velocity. The average is getting better. I have seen it where, let's say, the average is getting better. You know, maybe it's going better. And this is the actual done average. Okay. This is completed done average. And the predictivity, you know, it's up here. You know, it's there, you know, there. It should be here. But then I'll see and predict all the way up here. This is their next commitment. Right up here. I'm like, how the heck did you pick that? Right? If I let my team do that more than one time, then yes, it's the Scrum Master's fault. Because you're not doing a good job at sharing the history of it and how it's really supposed to use your empirical data to predict what you're supposed to be predicting. So yeah, that's the Scrum Master's fault. Seriously, it really is. Maybe they do it once, but you as a Scrum Master say, hey, your prediction this is, you know, if we predict more than 10% above what we have done and we're off, then that's our fault and we're yellow. But I give you that information as a Scrum Master to the team to make wise decisions. I feed them with information data. That's the job of the Scrum Master, is to provide that data to help them understand what the data is telling them and where they should go. Right? Who else's job is that? The Scrum Master's job. Does that work for you, Krishna? So your job as Scrum Master is to give them the empirical data which is all over Scrum, and let them see where the data is predicting they should be. When they go above it, you warn them. It says, but management what? But what? But management is asking for solutions. Solutions to not overcommit. You show the team the data. You just do a better job. Oh, and there's lots of levels to that. We got a whole thing. It's 15 minutes though. I'm going to give you one more thing. I did a show the other day on tasking. If your team is not tasking and sitting there taking the time to really understand the work needs to be done during sprint planning day, like they're supposed to be, then your predictions are going to be off. You really want them to go through task the workout, try to give an estimate on how many hours of tasks, and see whether or not they can really get the job done. And they should be talking as a team, developers and testers together talking, and not individuals. So I got to go on that one because we're at the 16-minute mark. Maybe we'll talk about it more. I'll write something up if you want to give me some, send me an email on LinkedIn or something with a bunch of questions and thoughts and what it is. But they want Isaiah's improve predictability. Do the ceremony right. Do sprint planning right. That'll help your predictability because then you get a better understanding where you are. I think I did a target show a while back on that one too. How do I use t-shirt sizing, story sizing, and hours to get into target what the sprint really should be about. Okay? All right, man. You all have a great day. It's a Monday, way to start the week. It is tax week this week for those in the United States. We got a 2-month delay on having to do our taxes. They're due the 15th of this month. I don't want to do my taxes. Oh, well. Anyway, you all have a great day. Take care. Ring the little bell if you want to get a note when we do some other shows and stuff like that. I did put a little Mentos thing out there. We are working on our delivery mechanism and experimenting. We'll see how that goes. All right. Take care. Bye. Have a good day. And we